welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee. And today's show is sponsored by DSFG. Remember, we've got all the info down the bottom just to get on for your code to put in Pre-Match for a 20% off discount. How you doing, mate? All right?
I'm all right, but how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to get the kids down, but
not spoken to you for a few days.
I know, yeah, it's been a busy one, hasn't it? And been a bit of a weird one. We're obviously having games in the week. Feel like it was in the Championship this week, so
no, yeah, it's a bit like it.
We'll have, I suppose, we'll have a few more over the Christmas break as well, won't we? So
lots of football, pal. Excited.
Scattered everywhere. We won't know when to do the show. At least it's not a lockdown one where they had one every day,
Yeah, to be honest, that was a bit much. There's like a balance in there where.
Yeah, you want to look forward to it, I think, don't you? And then,
yeah.
And a batch of them as well. Wasn't no good for the bets or anything to do them on a daily basis as well.
I like the festive. I do like the festive periods one. They're about spaced out just about right for my liking.
Yeah, I mean, some people, well, I say people, maybe the players, I think they enjoy playing the period, but I think they struggle a little bit for it, don't they? With a couple of games to go in, 3 days usually, maybe sometimes 2. I think you used to get 2-day break, didn't you? And that was it.
Tell you what, once upon a time, you used to go out playing football every single day. You didn't bat an eyelid, did you?
Yeah, well, I used to do it every day. I used to play about 3 or 4 games a day. I didn't.
Exactly. Going out all day, every day.
These professionals there.
More money they earn, the less they want to play.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose I would, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be a cripple if I got injured or something like that. And,
no, you got to be able to play as long as you can play, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So, right, yeah. So we've been doing quite well. So on my part, I got 8 out of 10 right results out of that last round.
Tim's tips coming around the corner now.
Oh, not tip-wise, but in regards to match result, I've got not actual score, but if you put an acca on some of the ways I was pointing at some of these fixtures, you'd have got 8 of them.
Who was the ones you got wrong?
The ones I got wrong was West Ham and Brighton.
Did you have West Ham to win as well?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So last minute.
Yeah.
Whether they took that one off.
And then my Wolves and Burnley, I had Wolves to win.
Thank Adama Traore for that mess.
Yeah, oh man, I know. Smashed that though, didn't he?
You could have had the full house there. It's all lifts, buts and maybes, I suppose, isn't it?
Tell you what, that'd have been talked about if that had gone in.
It'd have been talked about, but we'll get to it when we get to the Wolves game. But so frustrating.
But Burnley played quite well again anyway. But anyway, yeah, so let's get on to the first round. So we've got this round of fixtures, which is Saturday the 4th of December and Sunday the 5th of December. We've got 4 games on the Sunday and everything else is played on the Saturday, starting with 12:30 kickoff, West Ham and Chelsea. Leroy.
Yeah, should be a good game. I think if we'd have had West Ham in the blistering form that they left off from Liverpool, then it'd be it probably could still be the game of the weekend, but you're looking at a real tasty one, aren't you? But West Ham have dropped off the last couple of games. Obviously, you can see that late goal against Brighton. I still expect Chelsea to go there and get the win. I suppose in most of our predictions, if they carry on the way they have been, then you're going to expect them to win games, Chelsea. So
yeah, exactly. Quite a hiccup against United with the draw.
Yeah, I mean, they were fairly dominant in that game, weren't they? And then you had Jorginho panic, didn't they, to get them in? But Man U did enter quite well in that game. And it's all about taking those chances, isn't it? And obviously Man U did at that point. But like we mentioned in the last show, Rudiger's balloon shot at the end. So.
Oh, stinker. So, I think
I've gone for I've gone for Chelsea to win 3-1 in this one. I think they'll turn up like they did against Leicester in an early kickoff. I think when I mentioned the Leicester game, when they didn't wake up against Arsenal, and they sort of did the same against Chelsea, but obviously Chelsea have proved in the early kick-off there a tough place to go, but they're ready for action at any point of calling, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they usually say the early kick-off is the one game you don't touch for a bet. It's always the one that messes you. It could easily be the case here because West Ham, if they put in the performance they did against Liverpool, then they can easily win this, of course, can.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Chelsea got that good momentum, but at the same time, Tuchel turned around and said it was the worst performance under him so far, so they've got a bit of a point to prove there against Watford. So it's going to be like a real job for them to make it look convincing at a strong West Ham side, but a West Ham side that haven't picked up maximum points in the last two. Is it the last two games now? I think.
The last couple of games have struggled a bit, haven't they? So,
well, they should have seen through against Brighton. A great goal from Mopai, whatever you can call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of them where it's a little bit undefendable, really. Not expecting someone to just bicycle kick the ball out and loop it into the net side. So.
No.
And that messed up my prediction for that, wasn't it?
I've gone with the Chelsea win as well, but I've gone with 2-1 this time. I think it'll be a bit tighter. I think Chelsea could go 2-0 up, and I think West Ham could pull a goal back maybe again. Yeah. So, what are you saying in regards to your in-game betting tips for this one, Leroy?
For this one, I've gone because West Ham have actually been really good disciplinary boys this season. But you always get that little blitz from a team that have keep a good disciplinary, and they'll go. And it's a London derby as well, so I'm seeing a few bookings in this one. Chelsea are definitely capable of picking up a couple. They'll probably be the leading team in terms of picking up bookings, but you can sometimes see a team. Like I've looked at a recent record. I think they've gone about 3 of the last 5 games without booking at all, West Ham. But I'll say it's that little blitz
really, in the Prem.
Say that again, sorry.
That's quite impressive in the Prem.
It is. Especially with the refs that are in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you see that little blitz sometimes, and I think you'll probably see maybe 2-3 West Ham big cards, yellow cards. And Chelsea will definitely get a couple, I think, yeah. So over 45 booking points have gone for.
Ideal. Right, on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. So we've got Newcastle and Burnley, the big game this.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley didn't really threaten Wolves in the week. Few pot shots from about 20 yards out and that, but set up well. There's tough to break down. I was really impressed with young Nathan Collins who came for Tarkowski, so I think they've got a ready-made replacement there. If Tarkowski does move across to Newcastle or wherever, I'd imagine this is going to be at the very least his last season with the club.
Yeah.
But young Nathan Collins coming and look really good. Ireland will be excited to have him on board, I'm sure, when they want to rebuild with their youth that they're trying to bring through at the moment. Newcastle got to win at some point.
They have to win, mate. They have to win this. They have
you had
to
them?
win this
Have
game.
you had the win?
Huh?
Have you had them to win?
Yeah.
I haven't.
I have.
They have to win, but I think Burnley are really good at doing this, and I think they proved that against Wolves as well.
I've gone opposite to you then, but I've gone this is going to be an action-packed game. This one, I've gone with 3-2 Newcastle.
You see, it's one of them where you look on paper. Say if you just look at it last season, you'd probably say it'd be the most boring one on paper. But these are usually games I actually like watching.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I must admit.
Yeah, and I've had both teams score as my tip, which we'll get to in a minute. So I've gone for 1-1 on this one.
Ooh.
I think Burnley to take the lead, stun Newcastle a little bit, and then they'll keep pushing. Like fair play to Newcastle with 10 men to do it against Norwich to get back into it.
It's like half decent going forward. That's the thing. It's just defensively, they're so short. It's so terrible.
Yeah, that's why I've gone for Burnley. Got to score here, surely. Like I said, they didn't fit on walls much, but Newcastle are so prone to letting in goals and silly ones at that.
Chris,
but he didn't look at. Did you see him when he went off in the week? With Dyche had a few words with Sean Dyche.
oh, I know, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying now. Yeah, yeah.
He got told as well. He got told Woody soon shut up. I'd imagine, he's the man for Burnley. You'd probably put at the top of your list to score goals. Obviously, Cornet's come in and been the leading scorer so far, I think.
I'll tell you what, he's scoring them from anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah. I didn't realise he was actually playing. I don't know if he'd been playing up front all season, but he played up front on Wednesday against Wolves.
Moving further forward.
Yeah. I don't know. He's gone from left back, left wing, and striker. He's almost gone the role reversal of Stephen Ward for Wolves. So he went from striker to left midfield to left back.
Impressive.
But yeah, that's the reason why I've gone for both teams to score, because I think Newcastle will, very capable of scoring goals at the top, up their end of the pitch, but defence.
Mm-hmm.
But Burnley are capable of getting that away goal. I was surprised, but they didn't put more work on that area, to be honest with you, especially when they've beat us 4-0 there last season, but might be a different thing for them without the fans, hadn't it? So
yeah, probably.
Sometimes teams come back with good memories and butcher you again, don't they? Those Burnley, we just can't beat them these days. So.
They're always a tough side to play, and the thing is, they've added really well. The likes of Cornet and who's the other fella they brought in? Brought someone else in defender.
Collins was the other guy that brought in. Yeah, the back. Yeah,
that's the one. They've looked really good. So it's like they've added, if anything, they've added people that can play a bit as well. Whereas they've always been quite robust and difficult to break down and whatever. And obviously they'll fight hand and tooth to kind of get a result. Whereas they've got more than just grit now. They've got that little bit more. And I don't know.
Cornet has that bit more flair, yeah. Definitely. And McNeil as well.
That's what I mean, McNeil and Cornet, either flying. That's seemed quite good going, that. So, but I just don't know. I think Newcastle have got to get a result somewhere. I think the support inside St James's might be just that little bit.
Yeah, then they are getting behind them big time, aren't they?
Yeah. And I don't think it'll be an easy one for Newcastle, as I say, but because the defence is so shocking. But I always fancy him scoring, and then I fancy Burnley scoring as well. So I do think there'll be some goals in this game. Yeah, so I'm going with 3-2. But that's so anyway. Go on. Sorry, Bud. What were you saying?
I was going to say, do you think if Sean Dyche left Burnley, do you think he'd actually impose this type of football? Say if he went to a team with more players, do you think he'd impose the same type of tactic?
I think he works with what he's got, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because obviously you look at how they play when they have got the likes of now they are playing, so should I say, with the likes of Cornet and McNeil. Got a few extra flair players in there that they've not really had before. And he obviously wants them, but you've got to be realistic with your budget, and you're only getting one or two players here or there if you're lucky. So I think he's
interested in his next club if anyone actually sticks with him. Not as long. I can't see him doing this again. Another club for another. What's he been there about 8 years, something like that now?
Yeah, at least I reckon.
I think he was the manager when Wolves got relegated to League One. I'm sure he was. I think there was the team that pretty much sent us down under his first year.
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
Thinking back, but I can't. My memory's terrible.
Sure, I'm thinking about 2013, something like that, or 2012. He's been there since. Obviously,
he's been there a while. I know that much. I remember him coming to Old Trafford and beating United when they were half decent as well years ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, many moons ago.
No, he's been linked with Everton those times, and then obviously with Benitez, probably now the favourite, next one to go. They could look at it, couldn't they?
I think they might look at him.
Yeah, I think they have every time that they've gone without a manager, which is quite regular.
I think Frank Lampard's next one to get a job there, though.
He could. I could see him at somewhere like if Burnley stayed up. Maybe even if they went down, I could see him taking something like that. I think it's a good call for him. Yeah.
Well,
or even Everton as well. Everton, Lampard, whether
Everton's what I was thinking about for Lampard, rather than Burnley.
I think the owners have got to tread carefully. I mean, like, to be fair, they've had some world-class coaches coming in now over the last few years. Everton, ones that have been at the top of the game in football in terms of as a player and a manager, and they still haven't been able to turn them around, have they?
You wouldn't know it, would you?
Yeah, so maybe Sean Lampard would be that way forward, just to try and instill a bit more grit into them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Dyche if he went there. Lampard might try and play it a bit pretty, but I think he'll want to be at a club now where he's going to stay there for a long time. He's done a year at Derby and a year at Chelsea, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So those two clubs, if they became available, Burnley or Everton, could be ones where he could have a little bit more long-term project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Right then, let's move on. Southampton and Brighton, another 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday.
Yeah, both teams come away with good points, to be fair, didn't they? Southampton got off to a really quick start against Leicester.
Result really again, but they just keep drawing Southampton this year.
I know. Reminds me of Glenn Hoddle at Wolves. I was about 25 draws in a season, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't lose many, but draws.
They're a bit more robust. Like, they're quite the tough team to play. Like, and they've got more so over the years. They always look like being down that bottom end, but this year they're looking like they could probably take a point off anybody, really.
Yeah, I mean, Che Adams has stepped up in the absence of Ings, hasn't he? So there's a good. I'm sure it's a header, if I can remember off the top of my head, literally, of Che Adams. But yeah, he's getting in the right position. Seems to be growing as a player as well. I think a bit of international experience has given him a bit more confidence as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Brighton, great points at West Ham. We did say there was going to go on that little bit of a drop off, but this could bring back a little bit of confidence to them now. I've gone for 1-1 in this game. Couldn't really pick a winner because I think if Southampton put on the same attitude as they against Leicester, then they'll come fighting at Brighton, whether they go 1-0 down or whether they try and get something out of it. They're like being at 1-0 up, and then Brighton, well, they've proved against West Ham they'll keep fighting to the end, won't they? So
yeah, definitely.
I've gone for 1-1 in that.
I've gone with 2-2.
Just a draw either way.
Yeah, so I'm just expecting more goals, I think. I don't know why. I think
it's definitely capable. There's good attacking players in each team, and Southampton probably a little bit more leaky in defence.
Yeah, I'd say.
But they are the home team, so you got every chance of a 2-2 coming in there.
That's what I fancy. So, what's your tips for this one, then, Lee?
Obviously, I mentioned Che Adams is in form, so I was going to say Trossard anytime, which would be my main one because I think he can get a few shots off every now and again. He looks a danger. So I've gone for Trossard anytime. Before I've thrown the Saints one as well, so I've gone with Che Adams anytime as well.
Ideal. Right then, on to the last of the 3 o'clocks, which is your team, Wolves and Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag of emotions for me at the moment. I'm excited to go to the game tomorrow. It'll be a good atmosphere and that, but I'm also sort of dreading it. I just can't see us getting anything out of this game. I think we played some pretty stuff against Burnley, but it just wasn't enough. There weren't no cutting edge to it. Obviously, we had the Adama incident where he got through and go. It's happened about 4 times this season where he just broke away. No one can keep up with him, and as soon as he crossed the halfway line, you seen him and there's bombing down the left hand side, and about 4 or 5 times I says, "Square it." And he carried on, and every time he runs to the edge of the 18-yard box, and it's almost like it's a trigger to tell him he has to shoot. Then he won't carry on running towards the goal. He get a bit closer. He'll shoot from the edge of that 18-yard box like he has to. Like he's almost. I think he must run that quick. He must think he's gone past the goal line.
He's gone past his goal marker. Yeah.
I don't. He just don't look up half the time, and they just run. He's great to watch in terms of how quickly he can move the ball and that, but so frustrating as well at the same time. It's great to him, and he's going to score.
Yeah, I must admit, he was on as well. He was definitely on that pass.
yeah. I think it just proves the bloke cannot be coached. I think Bruno is. I've watched a lot of our training videos, and he's always talking. Bruno is, and he's got to have spoke to him about it. They've got to watch videos and said, "Adama, come on, give the ball to Roll here. Look up, and see him there. He was on his own. It's quite a distinctive shirt, isn't it? The ball's on. It's not hard to see.
Exactly. Yeah, bright orange.
But yeah, it is. I'm hoping he will play tomorrow because he does turn up against the big boys. He scored a brace against City before. He scored against City at home before.
Takes a lot of players out of the game in one hit. That's the thing with Traore.
Yeah, it opens up for others and
massively. It's a threat. You've got to play like your big threats in your squad. So yeah, I'd like to see him play. I'd like to see him play as much as possible, but it's just getting through to him that final decision.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever happen. He might have a little bit more luck if he moves to Spain. I think
he's got so much more time on the ball.
Yeah. You might see him go on a little flurry wherever he goes. It looks like it'll be Valencia. I'd imagine if he don't take his chances until New Year now, then we'll probably be looking to cash in, I think. So rather be dispute his contract. Right. But I think I said on the commentary the other day it was 7 goals in 150 games. 2 of them were in one game.
I remember those as well. Thought he's flying today too.
But Liverpool are on fire as well. They're scoring about 4 goals on average every game, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've gone for them to score a little less this game in the hope that it's going to be a little less. I've gone for Liverpool to win 2-0.
I've gone with 2-1.
I think if we turn up like we usually do against big teams and give them a game, we can nick a goal somewhere. But I can't see us getting anything out of it. But at the same time, I've said this loads of times. When we went to the Etihad and we won 2-0 there, we can do it on our day.
Yeah,
we can beat anyone on our day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2-1, Wangi Chan.
Gone a little bit off the ball for me, but hopefully, I think he'll be up for this game.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to give a bit of muscle about, so we'll see if he can. He'll probably be more than likely up against Trent as well, so got to give him a hard time.
Yeah, that's the one you want to get.
That's what I do. Yeah,
Traore on Trent.
Yeah, well, I'd have Traore and Robertson because I think that keeps him busy. I think Robertson's for the covering all top part of me, all down that left hand side.
He'd be bullying Robertson down that end.
Yeah, he has given him a few tough games before, to be honest.
Good to see that because I can't stand the bloke.
Yeah, he just probably needs to bring a bit more self-belief back in himself at times, and we'll see what he can do. So
what's your in-game tip for that one then, Lee?
I've gone for a booking on each side, so it'll be Moutinho for the Wolves. If he play, I think he should play, because Neves will be back. I thought Dendoncker did okay in the week. It could be that we change our formation. We could be playing a 3-5-2 here. It wouldn't surprise me to try and nullify the 3 strikers. It could be Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho in the middle.
Maybe. Hack out the midfielder for a bit. That's where the game's won this, isn't it?
Yeah. It could be that you don't even see Adama start this. It could be Wang and roll up top.
Maybe.
And then maybe throw away when there's a bit of tiring legs on there. Yeah. And Robertson to get booked for Liverpool.
Robertson to get booked for Liverpool, yeah. I can see that.
I'll keep an eye on Matip as well. Not got booked much this season, but does like to stick his foot in here and there. So
yeah,
Fabinho would be my favourite to get booked in the game if he plays. But his odds are too low. It's almost like they're saying, yeah, we will get booked in this game.
Yeah, he's prone for it.
And I will say also, Conor Cody's a great price at 5-1 to get booked again. I think he got booked against Liverpool last night. He's obviously up for the game, being a scouser himself.
Being a scouser himself, yeah.
Yeah. 5-1 for him to get booked. I mean, like with the attacking the line he's going to come up against, if one of them gets past him, he'll probably take one for the team.
He's a Liverpool fan, isn't he?
Yeah, as a boy, yeah. Wolves fan now, obviously.
Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan. He'd be like,
he's got his kids supporting Wolves at least.
Oh, that's all right then.
I'm sure he supports both of them, doesn't he?
Right then, on to the 5:30 of Saturday. Then that's Watford and Man City. So Watford are giving a good account of themselves in the last couple of games, but just not quite getting there.
Yeah, I suppose they scored against Chelsea. I think that was my tip for the last game against Chelsea, to keep a clean sheet. Manuel Dennis, who's been probably one of the signings of the season, really.
Definitely, he's looked good for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind someone like him down the walls at the moment. You know, he just seems to have that eye for goal. He seems dangerous, confident. But obviously, I mean, City against Villa, they rode the luck. City did against Villa the second half. I did say it'd be a tough game and proved to be right there. And on the result, I think I had a feeling that Villa would, you know, give the Gerrard wouldn't have them going any below any performance. And he did say that he give them Villa gave City a bit of too much respect in that first half.
Yeah, he said they gave him a great game second half though.
Yeah, definitely. So it shows they can be got at City, but I think for this one here, City way too dominant for this game. I think it's one of them where they'll just stroll through it. I think I've got them to win 3-0, so I'm going with Watford to not score again.
Is that your tip?
Yeah, 3-0. So City over 2.5 goals is my tip. So City to score 3 goals at least will win you that bet.
I've got 3-1 City. I think Watford will score. I think whether they've got Dennis or Ismail Assar playing, say, well, they look all right. They look value for scoring under Ranieri. I know that much.
Yeah, it looks like you can give it to him a bit more when Aki's at the back. He's a good defender, Aki, but I don't think he's top tier defender.
No, he's not. They're on about him going to. Who have I just seen? They're on about him going to West Ham.
That was. But on permanent or loan?
Possibly on a permanent in January.
Yeah, I suppose if it's a Diop leaves, you could see it happening. Gives a bit of balance to the left-hand side as well, doesn't it? So, I saw this Diop warming up at Molineux a few weeks ago. He's an absolute giant of a bloke.
Massive, isn't he, Diop?
Yeah, so I'm sure they said he's 6'4", but he looks even bigger than that. He looks about 6'7". So lanky, but well built as well.
Yeah.
It's someone I want to get a scrap with on the football pitch. I wouldn't mind him down the walls, to be honest with you. I need something like that, I think. But, like with Bolly not even playing this season and just constantly getting injured, I'd love to see us down the walls.
They're a step ahead of you at a minute, though, West Ham. You wouldn't believe in West Ham go Wolves at a minute, though, would you?
Yeah.
Right, and go on to Sunday, the 5th of December. So we've got the 3 and 2 o'clock kickoffs and the later 4:30 kickoffs. So starting with Leeds and Brentford, Lee.
Yeah, there's a couple of reunions here, isn't there? Obviously, Pontus Jansson going back to Leeds.
Yep.
And Adam Forshaw, who did play for Brentford. I think he played when they was just first in the Championship. I'm sure he did. I'm sure there's others across there. I just can't think off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Stuart Dallas, I'm sure he played for Brentford.
Did he?
I'm sure he did back in the day. Yeah, I'm sure that's where I first heard of him. I'm going to Google it now.
Not sure. I haven't heard that one, I don't think.
I'm sure that's where I first heard of him, but he's come on leaps and bounds, hasn't he?
Looks like a Premiership footballer.
He does, yeah. He really gives his all, doesn't he? I like players like that. 30 years old now, so. Yeah, he did play 63 times for them between 2012 and 15. So he come over from Northern Ireland, from where he's from.
Yeah.
Brentford, and then Leeds have had him since 2015.
Ideal.
Yeah, Brentford are poor at Spurs. From what I saw, but not just what I saw, is what I heard as well. So
yeah, they didn't look great. I watched the game as well. And
looked a bit timid.
Yeah, they did. As I say, the threats up front weren't really a threat. They were, and Buemo, a couple of opportunities which on another day might have gone in, but he didn't look like winning. It was just one of them games. I say once Tottenham had scored, they were kind of in control. Really, I think it was literally like that.
And I paid them a bit too much respect. It's almost like the side the Villa did with the City in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was watching a few of the different games all at once, and yeah, it's a shame. Say, I really thought they were going to give them a bit more of a game,
Yeah, and obviously you got Leeds, who got a very late winner against Palace, and I've had them to. I was well impressed with that because my two tips were Rafinha to score, and I said he'd score the winner.
Yeah.
And then just after that, Forshaw went and got a booking just to get
on
100%, I think. So he must have been watching the show. But yeah, I've gone for him to win 1-0 again. Then I think that could give him a little bit of a cushion above that relegation zone. It's very tight, this league is at the moment now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking at Wolves' December's fixtures now. If we don't pick up much out of that, we could be on the bottom end of that, like little cluster of teams now. So
yeah, but the thing is, what you're forgetting is everyone taking points off everyone this year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's going to be like a really open Premiership season. This, like from start to finish, even the top three. I don't think they're gonna all have it their own way throughout the season. I think there's gonna, especially there'll be a testing time for them all through the kind of festive period. I think your teams like Liverpool, which haven't got a stronger squad, might come up, might struggle a little bit, but they might not. And obviously, there's Africa Cup of Nations come January, isn't there?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's going to take a few players out of a fair few teams. I think Wolves are going to lose Seiss and Bolly themselves. That leaves us with a couple of defenders. So we definitely have to sign someone in the
January
window. I don't think Leeds and Brentford are too distracted by that, are they? But I think they might have. I'm sure Visser, who came here, he's sort of like their super sub. He's probably going, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on if his team
don't play that much though, really, considering.
No, he had a really bright start, didn't he? Like he seemed to come on and score every week. It's almost like a modern day Solskjaer. But
yeah, he was, yeah. And then he's like to stop playing, or he's got injured or something.
I did see him the other week. Whether he came on in the Spurs game, I'm not too sure. But I did see him the other week coming on for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember it was again, to be honest with you.
Well, I've gone for Leeds to win 2-1.
2-1. It will be a tough game for Leeds as well. They can't be too complacent. They can't get too comfortable after beating Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Brentford. Leeds probably I'd put as a fairly similar team to what Wolves are, and in terms of they can play a good tempo when they really want to, like attacking wise, and then they can shock you with a few results, like where you're thinking they might get the win and then they're down. So if they do that against Brentford, they could easily punish them. But yeah. I think Leeds probably keep it cool with this one and just nick the winner, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Tip for the game is for the old boys to get booked. Pick one of them, or if you want to really go for it, pick the two of them. Adam Forshaw booked and Pontus Jansson to be booked. I believe they both got booked in the last game as well, so maybe they'll try and push for a Christmas suspension.
Yeah, they'll have an extra day off, extra game off.
Well, Forshaw's been back in for about 6 games. I'm sure he's been booked about 3 times already.
He definitely got booked the other day.
Yeah.
Right, ideal. So the second of the 2 o'clock kickoffs, we've got my boys, Man United and Mr. Ralph Rangnick and Crystal Palace.
Finally in the dugout, Alvanic. I was surprised that Carrick leaving so soon. I thought he might just give him a bit of help to the end of the season just to settle him in. But it looks like Carrick might be looking for his own managerial role, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Possibly. He said he's not going to take anything immediately, but I think he has put himself out there for something. You know, I think in general, you look at it, and obviously there were a lot of calls for him to have been, obviously, he's all these coaching teams. So there was a call for him that he should have gone as well. So obviously he's done a good job in his 3 interim games. He's done really well, actually. They've looked like a slightly different beast. United picked up points where we were looking that, no, they ain't going to happen. And yeah, he's stood him in good stead. And obviously he's put Ralph Rangnick in a decent position with some few things to think about. Obviously the likes of Donny van der Beek getting a bit more game time over the past couple of games. And, you know, I think it's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it will be. There's rumours that he's going to chop and change up a little bit, isn't he? So just to bring in a bit more fresh impetus, I think, to try and, you know, get some real hunger in the United squad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for United to win this 3-1 to take advantage of Palace being pretty poor the last couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 games with them getting into a bit of form with playing Villa. Obviously, you know, with Gerrard coming, it's always going to be hard because Villa are going to be up for most games under him now.
Yeah.
And the Leeds game, they'll be disappointed to have conceded a late penalty. Wouldn't have been a bad point there, but I think Palace can be that team to hurt teams. And I think was it last season in lockdown when Palace won, or they were close to winning at Old Trafford? They were quite comfortable with it.
He was in lockdown, yeah.
Was that about? Did they score about 3 at Old Trafford then? Did they? I'm sure it was about 3-1 or something like that. If I remember.
Was it?
It was like a real shocker. Or United had a little play for the way.
Not 2-1 or 2-0.
I'm sure they scored 3. You know, I remember watching it and thinking, "Crikey, what the hell's going on there?" I think Zaha was on fire that game. I'll try and find out in a minute.
Must have banished it from my memory.
Yeah, well, that's probably why it ain't gone for mine. It's just quite funny seeing United suffer sometimes.
Well, I've got 3-1 win as well, United.
Have you? Yeah. I think they'll get to a good start with Rangnick. They'll be up for it. I think every time you see United sort of get a new manager now since the Ferguson days, they get a little bit of hype for it. Even if it was Moyes, I believe he got off to a 4-0 winning start, didn't they?
Yeah.
When Moyes took the job. Van Gaal was proven in other countries to be a winner. So they got themselves a bit up for him, Jose, you know. And even Ole, you know, Ole probably had the best start out of a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely had a good run.
Got him the job, really, wasn't it? So, but yeah,
What's your tip for that one then?
I think it'd be comfortable. I've gone over 2.5 goals on that.
Very good. Very good. I can see that too. Right then, the last of the 2 o'clocks on Sunday sees Tottenham and Norwich.
And Norwich is it something like 7 points now? 7-8 points in the last few games. They're picking up some good points, but Spurs seem to have found a bit of a way again, haven't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Conte effect is a natural born winner. Look comfortable against Brentford, so I expect them to be the same against Norwich. But I actually do think Norwich will put up a bit more of a fight. Despite being, if you were to put Brentford and Norwich together, you'd probably be saying that Brentford are that better team. But I think they've got a bit of belief in themselves now. They've pushed themselves up from absolutely nothing to having a chance of staying up now in Norwich. So.
Yeah, definitely. Say if the results for Burnley and Newcastle don't go well, and obviously Watford don't pick up points, there's a couple down there, and Leeds don't get the points that they need, then you'll start seeing, and Norwich do pull something like that, then yeah, we'll all change. It's quite exciting down there, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a tight season, to be fair. I suppose when you see into the new year after the cusp of games have gone over, it'd be interesting to see who's where, to be honest with you.
You look at Tottenham, if they win, to pull out a win in this game, and West Ham lose to Chelsea, and Arsenal don't pick up any points in their game, then you're starting to look at like, God blimey. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I think they've got a game in hand as well, Spurs, haven't they? So they're actually knocking on the door.
They go up to fourth, I think.
Yeah, so they're knocking on the door already, aren't they? It's a bit of a late reaction. If it was 3-1 Palace against Man United, I just had it. It's fine. So that's back in your memory now.
Try not to remember that one, really.
It's back in your memory now. My tip for the game is both score no draw. I think Norwich will nick a goal. I've gone for 3-1 Spurs win, by the way.
Okay.
I think when Spurs want to get going, they can. I think Son and Kane, you might just start seeing them go a little bit of form there.
Yeah, it's their kind of game, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Well, this would be the one for them. You know, they could see them probably both scoring if they both start. I'd imagine be the case. Lucas Moura seems to be an handful again at the moment. Seems to be back.
Playing well for Conte, isn't he?
Yeah, seems to have a little fire in his belly at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I've gone with 2-1. I've gone with 2-1. I think you got the right result, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I can see Pookie scoring for Norwich as well.
He took his goal really well.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I think that will give him a lot of confidence. I think he seems like that type of bloke have been an absolute nuisance to their back line as well. So I think that's where Norwich might get their goal from. Maybe even a penalty somewhere down the line.
Yeah, possibly. Right. Very good. Right, on to the 4:30, Villa and Leicester.
Be a good game this one. I look forward to seeing this one. Leicester seem to be shipping goals right, left and centre. I mean, like, even if they have picked up the form recently, but I've seen a hell lot of goals to the defenders have got.
Loads.
Yeah, so obviously missing Fofana for the. I know he's only a young kid for Fofana, but there seemed a lot more mature at the back with him in the squad.
Doesn't look like he's going to be available at all till next year.
No, it was a bad injury for him, wasn't it? So, I mean, you've got to hope that they come back and get a good run of the games and be their old self as well.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence again as well.
Yeah, for someone so young to have something like that happen, it could be a while. But if he's naturally, I believe he was on his way to being one of the top defenders in the world, I think. So if he's got that natural ability in him to come back with that confidence, then he'll be fine. But sometimes it can really break the confidence on it. So
definitely.
Sionku's just, I mean, he seems to be the scapegoat in terms of what I'm seeing with it, but he seems to, from where he used to be, I thought, what a great.
It's like he's brought it on himself, to be honest.
Yeah. But I don't know if he's got a bit complacent, thinking he was doing quite really well, and then he's just ever since that Euros, maybe even a little bit before it, he just fell off a cliff, really.
Yeah,
Johnny Evans is that assured man at the back. He scored in the week, didn't he? So
yeah. Even he's just slowing down a little bit now.
Yeah, he will be when it's natural, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think he's still a couple of years at the top. Yeah. Whether that be with Leicester, I think Leicester seem to like having him in that lineup, don't they?
Still the best centre half they've got.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, at this,
so what are you saying then? What's your score prediction?
I've gone for Villa to win 2-1. I think you saw the way they come back at City. I think a lot of the fans come away from that game being actually happy with defeat as well, you know, because they actually gave the effort. And I think if when Villa Park is rocking, it's quite an electric atmosphere for them, you know.
It's a good place to be that when it's flying.
Yeah. And they'll want to play for Gerrard, and that will make them want to play for the fans as well, because it's getting louder. I've seen it myself when Molineux gets rocking. The players just grow in confidence. They just want to fight. So yeah, I think Gerrard's good start will continue with a 2-1 win. I think Leicester have been quite leaky at the back. So
do I, and I'm gone with 3-1 to Villa.
3-1.
3-1. I think because they've been so bad at the back, I think Gerrard will be all over this, and I think he's got a tune out of what's he called? What's the fella called up front?
Watkins.
Ollie Watkins, yeah.
Yeah, good goal in the week, yeah. A shame for the kid as well, who I can't pronounce. I ain't even going to try and pronounce his name.
Chumbawamba. Oh, yeah, Okawuru or whatever. Yeah, something or whatever it's called.
Chumbawamba. Oh, cool.
Chukwuemeka. I don't know, I haven't got a clue. I'll have to listen to that a few times with some of the pundits telling his name, needing play a few times. It was close. Good save by Edison.
It was, yeah. I mean, even in his reaction, old Chumbawambas was. It was like, you couldn't believe he was on the pitch. I mean, he was just like he must have felt like he was in a surreal moment. Even though he missed, he sort of seemed a bit chuffy. He had his shot on at Edison, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then. So, what's your tip for that one, Lee?
Same as the Spurs one. I've gone for both scoring and draw, and this one I can see both of them scoring. This game could easily be a draw, to be honest with you. Probably to a lot on paper, probably a lot of people would say this would be a draw. I think they usually do play out a draw as well, these two, when they meet each other. You might get the odd win on each side for them. Villa, even when they were quite poor, were a handful for Leicester. Always seemed to be a bit of a thorn in the side, even in Leicester's title winning season.
Mm-hmm.
They were
damaging.
Yeah, they took I think they took 2 points off them when they were close to the title, where Leicester were marginally close to winning it, and then Villa caused a bit of a pain in the ass for them, to be honest. Sticky game for Leicester, I think, has gone for that 2-1 Villa.
Ideal. I've gone with 3-1 to Villa. And then your last game then, guys, is Monday the 6th, which is Everton and Arsenal.
I used to
call this, isn't it?
You said, well, I've gone for the draw on this one. I think Everton have got I don't think Rafa's that type of bloke to lose so many on the bounce. But he did go on the bad run in China at one point, and that's saying so. Like one of the top coaches probably the top coach in China in terms of what he's won, and he couldn't turn them round for a bit. And maybe his philosophy, he's just weighing him thin there, and this could probably be his last team in Everton. But I used to like Everton as a club, but the fans just grind on me now. Just constant booing and moaning. I mean, like they've had the best managers down there. They can't seem to turn it round.
Oh, they've had Ancelotti, they've had Rafa Benitez.
Koeman wasn't bad, really, was he? Martinez doing well.
He's absolutely killed Barcelona, hasn't he?
But, I mean, to be fair, I have witnessed it myself. I've seen when Wolves have played Everton, even from the away fans, they're just constantly moaning at the ref. Like if one player falls on the floor, they're on it. And they're grinding me at the moment. Everton are. I think the players probably do need to give that little bit more. They've turned on it easily because Rafa's a former Liverpool manager. It's as simple as that.
It was always going to be that. As soon as the chips were down, then they've got something to make him a scapegoat. Because he won so much with Liverpool, really, and he's not been able to replicate that at Everton. So
yeah, and it's probably not going to happen. I'll say if Ancelotti can't get anything out of them, I think I'll probably put him in my top 3 coaches of modern football, like in recent years. Ancelotti, in terms of what he's done at the clubs he's been at.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the players will want to give a response more than anything now. I've just had a little go at Liverpool at times, but Liverpool was just way too good for them in the end. Arsenal might be a bit hurting from that defeat to United. So that's why I've gone for the 1-1. But if I was to pick a winner, I think Arsenal will probably win it. What have you gone for?
0-0.
The old famous 0-0. If you pull this off now, I'll be so mad. I mean, every time we go for 0-0, I went for 0-0 with United Arsenal. It was 3-2.
Yeah, I don't pull many 0-0s out, but I think this has got a 0-0 all over it. Stalemate.
It's got potential to, as far as Everton's defence seems to be making a hell of a lot of mistakes at the moment.
If Arsenal play like they did the other night and Everton play, well, to be honest, at times Arsenal, Aubameyang was nowhere, just don't know where he was. You know, Odegaard shot on another day wouldn't have gone in. You know, Emile Smith-Rowe, we had a goalkeeper lying on this, decided to have a kick in the goal line. You know, they might not have scored at all, Arsenal, that day, on another day at all. So, I don't know, going to somewhere like Everton.
He does like to keep them compact, doesn't he, Arteta? You know, I wouldn't say it's the greatest backline in the world when you look at Arsenal's defence, but one that work hard to try and keep the clean sheets and that. And obviously you've got Ramsdale, who's been top form all season.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Ben White's come into his own a bit as well.
Yeah. They've mentioned about him picking up his form, quite well. Tommy Asu and a bad wing back.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've obviously got a few players that can sit in front of the defence, like Partey, the El Nenes, Xhaka, you know, all players like that. So they do seem to have a good defensive mind, but that probably just sways the old Arsenal way of what we used to watch was quite exciting football, wasn't it? But probably just don't have that as much now.
Well, some of them teams of that day, and us included, aren't quite the same anymore, unfortunately. Life and times of football.
Yeah.
So what are you saying in regards to your tip for this one then, Lee?
Both teams, to be fair, haven't been. I was just sort of going back to the what I was saying about the Chelsea game. They can have a flurry of bookings going on, but I think in the last few games, Everton have been fairly decent and not. Against Liverpool, they got a few bookings. I think it was Arsenal that haven't had many bookings. Arsenal haven't had many bookings. It turns out that this form sort of happens with the referees as well. And Mike Dean is the ref, and the last 3 or 4 games, people have been saying, "Hey, well, he's refereed the games." To be fair, is this a new man? But no, he'll be back on Monday. He'll be back on Monday. He'll know that it's the only game played on that day, so everyone who's a football fan will probably tune into it. Cameras are on him. Those cards are coming out, mate, so I can see.
I'm telling you now.
In a hostile atmosphere, as I know, it's going to be quite heated. You know, Everton fans are clearly angry at the moment. And if an early goal does go in against them, you could probably see that coming in by half time.
So what's this, over 45 booking?
Yeah, over 45 points, yeah.
See, I know you well. Right then. Well, that concludes this run of fixtures, and we'll be back again for the next set of fixtures. So please like, share, and subscribe, and click on the bell button to keep up to date with everything that we've got and everything we post. So thanks for your time again, Leroy. Good to see you, mate.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
And we shall all see you soon. Take care, guys, and good luck with your bets.
Take care. Thank you.
All right.